Hot Mic is brought to you by Red Wing Shoes of Fargo. Built to last. 3003 Main Avenue, Fargo.
Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Coach Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota.
Can you give me a layup or something?
Hot Mic. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
That program is second to none.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Good Thursday morning. This was the announcement yesterday, made its way on social media late Thursday afternoon for the Bison women's basketball team that 10 members for the Bison women will be back for the 26-27 season, including the Summit League Freshman of the Year in Carrington Asp, 2 all-conference players in Jossie Schiller and Marissa Frost, and the Summit League Player and Defensive Player of the Year in Avery Koenen, who is here in studio to chat about coming back for next season. It's great to see you. Thanks for doing this. So give us the lowdown here. How this all come about?
Yeah, I mean, just at the end of the season, obviously, there's just things you gotta kind of think through and talk about. But at the end of the day, like, I've pretty much had my mind made up since, for a long time. So obviously you have to consider things, but I made the choice to stay, and I'm very happy about it.
So this has obviously been something that I think fans have been wondering about maybe since the middle part of the season. Like, oh, Avery's having an amazing year. It's only natural that maybe she could potentially leave. Tell me about, was there suitors out there? Did you hear from other potential schools about, hey, would you consider leaving?
Yeah, just the nature of how things are now. You hear things, and I did my best to try to filter that the best I could. Like I said, like, I've had my mind made up for quite some time, and it's been something, obviously, in this situation you think about kind of here and there throughout the year, and it was something that I prayed about a lot, and every time I did, I got pointed right back to that my choice to be here and my choice to stay here was the right choice. So I'm just grateful for it, and I'm grateful for everyone that has supported me and the community that we have. With how things are nowadays, it's not always a given, but just to be in a place where you have the right fit, or you feel like you have the right fit, and you have the right people supporting you and the right people around you every single day, it just goes to show like how important that is, and that's what's keeping me here 100%.
So tell me on the, guys, we could turn it down just a little bit. A lot of my headsets here. On the whole process of how this came about, first, let's start with just for people that don't know, like, are you getting phone calls? Is it direct message on Twitter? Like, is it people even just approaching you? How's it work?
Yeah, I think just it's more just people talking outside of me. I think that, like I said, I
talking to people like around you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, like, I did the best to filter it the best I could. So, maybe I didn't hear anything directly.
Okay.
I didn't do that. I don't think that that's right. I don't agree with that. So, there are people obviously that talk about things, but I don't necessarily want to know. I don't feel like I need to know, and that's not the other things that go into it, as the playing time, you play this much, or the money and all the things. That stuff doesn't matter to me. There's a lot more that goes into the sport of basketball than the things that people think about that cause people to leave, and that's not what matters to me. So,
did it ever get overwhelming?
At times, maybe. Yeah. But when you're set in your values, and when you're confident in the choice that you are about to, or that I feel like was the right choice, when you're confident in that, the other things don't matter as much, and it doesn't get as overwhelming because, when you can stick to what you value and what you believe in, I think that just helps with those feelings.
It's refreshing, honestly, because in this day and age, and I wouldn't have blamed you. I don't think anybody would. And I said it on the show. Like, if you decided to go, then tip your cap and good luck to you, because I'm in favor of players being able to move and being able to get compensated for what they're worth. But it is refreshing, though, because NDSU took a chance on you. Out of high school. I mean, you weren't necessarily a high-profile recruit coming out of high school to finish it out here. And I have to imagine as well, with how the year went, that you feel like there's unfinished business left here to do for next season.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I came here at the start as just like a little freshman and had a lot to learn. And I think that there's a lot to, say about just being loyal to the people that believed in me, the coaches that have developed me, the teammates that have been supporting me throughout my entire time here. And yeah, like you said, like unfinished business. We didn't get all of our goals that we had this year. And I just think that with everyone that we have returning, and just especially like even our coaching staff is returning. So that's not always common, especially at the level we're at in mid-major. People leave all the time. People move around a lot. So I think just to have the chance to come back for my last year with that amount of stability and potential where we still have goals that we want to meet, it says a lot.
So who was first? Did you tell Jory? Was he in the mix on this? Give us that story if you could.
Yeah, it was more just like conversations throughout the past few weeks and even throughout the season. And he's known where my head's at throughout this whole thing. So, and it's been to stay. I want to be here. And there's just no question about that. So it wasn't like a, one-time talk that he was nervous about. I think that they did. I would like to say that they did know that I want to be here. So, yeah.
So yesterday, was that a concert, like a social media deal? Like, how did that all come about with everybody announcing with your post and then everybody else followed on that?
Yeah, we kind of just talked about it, just everyone announcing it at the same time.
Because football did something similar this past December.
Yep, just to kind of let everyone know that we want to be here and that we're all coming back, and to kind of just seal the deal on that, and there's no more talk after that. And, we've got stuff to do. We've got more work to do. We're back in the gym, so we're excited about that.
Describe hearing or seeing people's reactions to your decision. What was that like yesterday after you made it public? Well, describe that emotion of the last, 12 hours after making this public.
Yeah, it means a lot because you just see the amount of people that support you. And just to feel that type of appreciation and love, not only for me, but just for our whole team. You look at everyone's posts and you've got comments on them, and just saying how excited they are to watch us compete again for the next year. And to feel that support from everyone just kind of just reaffirms my choice to stay.
Tell us about this season. On the court, success obviously was through the roof. You're named Summer League Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, averaged 19-11. I mean, just why did everything, at least on the outside to us, click for you this year?
Yeah, I think just a huge part of it is just maturity and growing and putting time in the gym. And also when you are supported by such an amazing and talented team and coaches, that just puts players in a better position to be successful. So just to get to play with these girls, it just takes a lot of pressure off, even my individual performance, because I don't have to go out there and, try to do everything. I have amazing teammates that are all successful in their own ways and that support me to get me to where I'm at. So that just a big, shout out to them.
Did you feel as the year went along that teams are like, all right, we already knew where you were on the floor, but you were being defended differently as the season went along?
Yeah, I would say you get the double teams and all that and the digs, and just kind of learning to adjust to play with that was something that I feel like I grew into more as the year went on. But I would say, like, even towards the end of the year, it felt maybe difficult at times, especially against certain teams to play how maybe I want to.
Yeah. Yep.
But like I've said, like my teammates are so awesome where, if I'm getting doubled, I can kick it out for a shot, and they make plays outside of that. So, yeah. Is
there a award or accolade you're most proud of that you earned this season?
Honestly, it's the regular season champs for our team, because and our record and our win streak, I think, just says a lot about everyone because, I mean, that's just amazing how many games you get to win in a row. I think that's just huge.
You didn't lose a game for 3.5 months.
Yeah, and that's insane, and it was fun.
Yeah, I bet it was. Yeah.
But, I would say regular season champs because that's not been done, I don't think, in the Division Division I era.
Nope.
So just to accomplish something like that for this program and this community is super special.
How big a deal is Defensive Player of the Year for you, though?
Yeah, it was really special. I think to just feel like maybe I'm seen on that end too, for the impact that I can have. But honestly, I was a little shocked when I saw that
right?
when I heard it.
Yeah.
But just because I do feel like there's other girls on our team even that deserve on defensive team. I would say I think Jossie, Marissa, and AK, all three of those are great on defense. So. But yeah, I was grateful for that too.
I'm just thinking this as we're having this conversation. I think this is the third year in a row you and I have had this conversation about coming back, which just sounds ridiculous, but it just also goes to where we're at right now in the state of college basketball. Where how much do you talk about this either with your teammates? Obviously, I know you know what's going on with the men's team right now. Just how is it gross right now in college basketball? Is the best way to ask you.
Yeah, I think that when people leave for the wrong reasons, I think that can be dangerous, but I don't think on our team that we have people that have the wrong aspirations or the wrong values. I think that we just have a team of great people, and that shows why we have so many people returning, and we also have great coaches as well. So to have that many girls return on a mid-major team says a lot about the program, says a lot about our community support, and our coaches and the people that we're surrounded with. So I'm grateful that that's at NDSU and that I ended up here because that's not the case at a lot of different schools.
Are you just glad this is over? Is this like 1,000-pound gorilla off your shoulders now? This is done?
I mean, kind of. Yeah. Just because you don't have to talk about it anymore. You can just kind of move on and get back to work. So after all the posts went out, we're good to go. And
you were back in the gym yesterday, you said, right?
Yep.
Back working, huh?
Yeah, back to practice, and then we practiced today and for the next couple of weeks.
So for people that don't know, what is that schedule like for you guys after season gets done, whatever it was, end of March? You're playing pretty late, and then you get about 2 weeks off, and then it's right back to work, huh? Yeah,
we had the last 2 weeks off. Okay. I guess we were lifting last week, but it's more focusing right now on the weight room aspect of things and just getting stronger and getting our strength back. After the season, you lose a lot, but and then we'll practice, 3 times a week probably for 45 minutes. I don't even know how long, but we'll get back into that for probably 3 weeks, and then May we'll lift a little bit and have some time off before we come back for the summer.
So how much, last year, we talked, I think when we visited, the news on Jossie wasn't official yet. How much are you plugged in now? Say, okay, because obviously there's a couple openings. Yeah. What are you paying attention to that? Let Jory and Dylan and everybody do their thing and then worry about it, who's here when you come back in the summer.
Yeah, I feel like more just worry about it when it happens, but also they are open with us and communicate with us about things and what they're looking at. Yeah. So, which I appreciate, just to kind of hear where their thoughts are and what they're looking for. But we'll have a couple visits here this spring too, and whenever that happens. But we'll get a few girls and it'll be great. So
describe the chance to run it back then with mostly everybody. And knowing, all right, we know what our team is. You're going to be a senior. Yeah. AK's going to be a senior. Mariley's a senior. All right, we went through what we did this past season. We know what we got to do to get that last hurdle and take that last step.
Right. Yeah, it's special when you have everyone returning. Not everyone, but most of your team returning. And just a great group of leaders as well. I think our senior class is really special. So, when you have the leaders, you have the underclassmen that have a year under their belt now. I think, Carrington, Sophie, and McKenna will all take big jumps, and just everyone will. When you're playing against great players every single day in practice, you're going to improve no matter what, as long as you're working hard. So, I'm just really excited to see what this team's capable of after another year of playing together.
We got a few more minutes to visit with us here?
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. We come back. Much more with Avery Koenen joining us here in studio, the Summit League Player of the Year, about returning for next season. That's coming up. We come back as we start Hot Mic on a Thursday. Back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. A few minutes left here with the Summit League Player of the Year, Avery Koenen joining us here. Pride of Montevideo. One of my former coworkers is a Montevideo native.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
Jody Norstead worked here. Used to be the sports weekend sports anchor with me. Thunderhawks, correct?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I've never known. But
For people that don't know, and you told me this story, and we aired the interview, but for some that missed it, the actual recruitment by NDSU. Tell us that, because it's really unique how the Bison found you.
yeah. I think it was, Heaven Hamling and Emily Dietz were at one of my AU tournaments, and Jory saw some post about me. I think he said it was a track one, about track, and said to go check me out or something at our tournament, and they said that they should look into me, and came to a couple of my tournaments, and which I wasn't playing at high level AAU at, not necessarily high.
Yeah.
So just I think the fact that I ended up here and that they offered me is kind of special, and yeah.
So they were coaching, right? Or is Heaven and Emily were coaching at that AAU where you were playing at?
Yep. Yeah, they were coaching a younger girls team, I think, and then they came into our gym and
Do you know what they said? Were they told Jory at all?
I don't even know.
You ever ask that?
I feel like they said, I don't even remember actually. Probably just said I was athletic. I was really skinny then, and it's probably all.
Because you did obviously volleyball and track. For people that don't know, volleyball was a road that you were thinking of going down too, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I think it was more after my sophomore year of high school. I played with a bigger JO program while I was playing AAU also. So I played in a couple tournaments with them and traveled a little bit. So that was a really fun experience, and I was grateful I did it. But after that year, I had decided that I just wanted to play basketball.
Basketball was the way to go.
Yeah, and I miss volleyball a ton. At times I'm what if? But I don't know. I'm very grateful for where I'm at too.
So I'm going to show a piece of video you're probably not going to want to see, which is the first game of the Summit League tournament, which 2 minutes into the game against Omaha, and I think for Bison fans that were either there or watching, you went down right away. This is actually not it, Ben. If we can get the right piece here, you get hurt.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened, and because immediately people are like, "Here's the play here if you want to look," because you go down and then you take us from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just remember after that shot came down, I think they said I stepped on someone's foot, and my ankle just kind of went. Obviously, it's painful, and just at a bad time. Of course, it happens the first game, first couple of minutes. Seriously, it's just kind of unfortunate, but just had to suck it up at that point because you've got stuff to do. You got to win the next. You wanted to win the next 3 games.
Correct.
So I went and got treatment as much as I could and had people helping me out and taped it up and pain meds and all the stuff.
So, because I'm following you now. I'm not even paying attention to the game because I'm well, this looks bad. She needs help getting off the floor. And then I saw you're over with the training staff, and then you're running behind right here. You're running behind the score. Are you thinking, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna get in, go back in the game.
I think I just knew I had to.
Okay.
I had no choice at that point. It's get me some ibuprofen, just tape it up tight, and I'm gonna have to just hope that it goes away as I start playing again.
And then you had an amazing game after that.
I guess so. Yeah. So.
Did you think it was what had happened? I might have broke it, or anything like that? Did that go through your mind?
I didn't know because it was painful, and I've had ankle sprains before, but that was a very painful one. And just as the days went on, it was just super swollen and bruised and everything. It's obviously gonna happen, but I did get an X-ray. I think it was that night, just to make sure it wasn't broken, and it wasn't. Thank God, but.
The game was South Dakota State down there, and you were as a freshman 2 years ago. How similar was this game to the Summer League title game 2 years ago in your mind?
Yeah. From what I remember, I think the ending was kind of similar. We played with them most of the game.
Yeah.
I think my freshman year too. So, and then just kind of got more away from us at the end, and obviously just outcomes you don't want. But it does give us something to work for.
That, knowing you still had games to play, how different was that locker room though? That did you know then, like, hey, maybe our NCAA tournament shot was gone after losing that game?
Yeah, I feel like obviously you're still hoping to get a bid, and I knew we'd have a chance, but I knew the chance was low.
Yeah.
So I think just like realizing that you're not going to accomplish that goal, that was the hardest part. It wasn't like the fact you're done, you're not emotional because of that, because we knew we would have another game, and hopefully a couple games, but it was more just like the realization that like you didn't get what you wanted at that time.
This sounds simplistic. What is it going to take to beat them there? Because that is a road game. You know it full well. You guys already won in Brookings early in the year. What is it going to take in an environment like that to beat a team like that?
Yeah. You know, I think physicality is a huge part when we play them. And I think it's just more of an offensive flow. I think that is kind of what has come down to it the past 2 games we lost to them. So just learning from that. I think our defense for the most part was pretty good. I guess I don't really remember too much. I kind of blocked out of my memory. But, I think just learning more and watching film more about, their game style and just being prepared for them, and obviously in that environment is a little more tough. So
well, I mean, you took the lead midway through the third quarter, and the crowd had calling out of the game. You had to think, okay, here's our moment to go, and it went because Brooklyn came out of the game, and then it went the other way for them.
Yeah, I think at that point in the game, I thought we'd go on a run, after that, and that's just not the way it went, and that's just how sports are. So. Obviously that's tough, and to go out that way is tough, but at the same time it doesn't take away from all that we accomplished all year.
We've talked about this a couple other times, and I want to revisit it now where the Final Four just ended. The ratings for it were through the roof. You're in it right now. Why is women's basketball as hot as it is right now in your mind? Yeah,
I think people are just realizing that it's kind of fun to watch, and
you guys are pretty darn good to watch and play. There's some athletes out there that can play.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it was more just like underrated as time's gone on, just throughout the past several years, I think people are just paying attention to it more, and which is exciting to be a part of that change.
Seeing it as well here, where fans were, I'm sure when you're recruiting, it was not a thing. Bison women's basketball went through a really tough stretch where now routine. I mean, that game, the crowd you guys had for the South Dakota State game was amazing, and if that can be almost on a regular basis, that's the potential here because people want to come watch you guys play.
Yeah, and I think it's just grown year to year.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that growth is really special, and to just see there's more and more people that come out and watch and want to come back each time is really cool, and it feels really special.
A couple last things here before I let you go. You also take the time, I think, at least 20 minutes after every game. You're signing autographs for little girls here that flock to you. Describe that and nobody's telling you to do that, but I guess that comes with the territory of being the best player. Describe that of making sure you're signing autographs for little girls that are 8, 9, or 10 and looking at you as a role model.
Yeah, I think it's really special, and that's one of the huge reasons why I love it here and why I'm here is because you want to go out and you want to have an impact on kids and you want to be that role model, and I really take that to heart, and I want to be that person for them. So in order to do that, I'm going to stick around and I'm going to talk to them, and I'm going to sign whatever they want. Yeah. And I just find so much joy in that because at the end of the day, like, you're going to be done playing basketball at some point, and I think the relationships that you build and the impact you have on other people's lives through the gift that God's given you, I think is really special. So I just try to keep that as my focus no matter what I'm doing, and it is really bigger than basketball at the end of the day because, like I said, like you're going to be done at some point. So
Is it surreal to see somebody wearing 22 and saying, when you see that, what goes through your mind?
Yeah, it's really cool. You know, just to see that girls want to support me and pay attention to that, and it's just something that you can't even put it into words, honestly.
All right, last thing. You've done a camp at home in your hometown. Are you doing that again this summer?
Yeah,
Describe what that impact has been like for you.
Yeah, that's been really special to be able to do year to year, and my community's done a great job in just making that happen and supporting me through that. So it's really fun to get to pour back into the community that has supported me. And a lot of those girls come to our games even and get to come up and watch, or take a trip with their family and come watch our games. So just to kind of pay it forward in that way of just being able to go and hopefully help them grow their love for the sport that I love is cool.
Now, there's some others in your family coming up here, right, that are playing hoops. Both your brothers are, right?
Yeah.
Or is college basketball, is that something on the doorstep for them, you think?
Yeah. My the older brother, who's a senior in high school, he actually just verbally committed to a school down in Iowa. I don't even know if he's announced that yet or anything, but
You're going to break some news. Go for it.
But a
Good
school,
for him. That's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
an NAIA school.
Okay.
And, so he's really excited about that. And Caleb, my younger one, he's starting AAU I think this weekend.
Okay.
So he wants to play college basketball as well. So it's really cool to kind of see that in my family.
What is what are games like in your family? Because your mom and dad were both athletes.
Yeah.
You guys ever just hoop it up in the driveway anymore, or no? You can't do that.
We would when we were younger.
Yeah.
And, there was a lot of competitive,
I bet.
one-on-one, 1v2s against my brothers in the driveway and stuff. We'd really get into it, but we're just shooting with my parents. And my mom especially, she coached me when I was younger, and they both just have so much knowledge of the game. And so I love that my parents know so much about basketball, because even when they're watching me, like, they can tell me things, and I actually trust what they're saying. Like, they're not, they're smart about it. So it's really cool.
Did you have a growth spurt, or was it steady? Like, you were one day you were at like 5'7", then, or is it like you were 5'7", the next day you were like 6'2"?
I feel like it was pretty steady.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I think I was maybe like 5'11", and I was told that I wasn't gonna grow anymore.
Oh, okay. No kidding.
And now I'm like almost 6'3". I say 6'3".
Everybody does it.
Yeah.
I see. I'm so glad to hear it. So I'm 6 foot on my driver's license. Ain't no way I'm 6 foot. I can tell you that right now. Thanks so much for doing this. Appreciate it. Congratulations on a dynamic year, and we can't wait to see you be playing next year, all right?
Thank you.
Avery Koenen joining us here in studio. North Dakota State junior forward, announcing she's going to be back along with 9 of her teammates for the Bison women next season. All right, we're overdue for a break. We'll cut up here. We come back. You'll meet newest commit for UND's football team out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. That's coming up when Hot Mike returns. We're back after this.
Perfect.
Welcome back, everybody. Thursday morning show off and rolling. Appreciate Avery Koenen. That's a heck of a way to start our show. Announcing her return to the Bison women's basketball team, along with 9 other Bison women that'll be back for NDSU next season. A lot to get to. It's a huge sports Thursday today. Obviously, we've got the Frozen Four starting today. We'll check in Las Vegas coming up in about an hour. UND taking on Wisconsin later today at 4. The Masters is underway. We'll give you an update on that leaderboard as the show rolls on. The Twins are playing a day game today. There might actually be some people there. They've won 3 in a row. We'll get you updated on that coming up in just a little bit as well. But we were chatting all week here. It's been a busy football commitment week. North Dakota State has added a couple. University of North Dakota has added a second commit for the class of 2027 from a school that we know. We actually had a guy on just last week that's going to be football for the Bison. UND's got one that's also going to be playing football out of Minnetonka High School, and their quarterback, Caden Gutzmer, joins us here this morning after he announced earlier this week that he will play football at UND, and he joins us here this morning to chat about it. Hopefully, I don't know, we got our audio situation. Caden, you hear me okay? He can hear us. I don't know. We can't hear him. So, Ben, let's take a break here. Maybe we can figure this out during a commercial. Let's take an early break, and then we'll run along with our next segment. So we'll come back. We'll hopefully get this situated with Caden. Back on Hot Mic right after this. Got our technical issue figured out at least for a little bit. As we mentioned, UND got a new football commit. Caden Gutzmer joins us back on the phone line here out of Minnetonka High School. Announced his commitment to play football for the Fighting Hawks. It's appreciate you giving us a few minutes here. Congratulations. Tell us about why UND was the fit for you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'd say, first of all, UND is a very special place, and ever since I got down there the first time, it was about this time last year when I was a sophomore. I loved it there. I thought the facilities were sweet by first glance, and then the more I got to get to know the coaching staff with Schmidt, and I was just like, this dude's awesome. And then they offered me, and I just thought it's the best situation for me. They had everything that I wanted, and it was just a place that I wanted to spend the rest of my career.
Was this committing even happen earlier in your own timeline than you thought, or was this right about when you thought you would?
I would say it actually happened a little bit earlier. So I planned on committing probably June, early June. Some schools were going to come and see me. And then I was at a visit to North Dakota, and they were kind of you need to they didn't pressure me to make a decision, but they were telling me they had this other kid up, and I just thought that it was right. And I was like, yeah, these other schools might come and watch me work out. And I was like, I just don't know if I'm going to like the situation any better than I'm going to like it at North Dakota. So they had everything that I wanted. So it was a pretty easy decision once I thought about it some more.
All right, I got to know here about this past season. I want to rip the Band-Aid off here about the Edina game, but I'm going to have to ask here in a second. But you also came back from a knee injury. Tell me about last season and the roller coaster ride that 2025 was for you.
Yeah, that was not planned, but I got injured week 4. In the second quarter, it was on a long run. I got tackled from behind. And I slightly strained or stretched my PCL in my knee. They originally told me I'd be out 1 to 2 weeks. I went in and got another MRI before I returned to play, and they're like, actually, no, you're out the rest of the season. Oof. And I was like, that's not going to happen. I need to return. I can't watch my team go to the state tournament without me. So I returned. My doctors weren't happy, but I played on a bum knee. But, yeah, that's what that was.
How much pain were you in when you came back?
A lot of pain, actually. I think it was visible in my film. I was pushing it a lot every game, and halftime at the end of the game, I would take off the brace and throw it. It was a lot of pain.
Jeez.
But, I had to do it. Adrenaline would kick in, which helped, obviously, but yeah.
So we had your teammate in Cody Braun on last week about his commitment coming up here to play for the Bison. You got a loaded team. You got your running back is going to go play at Iowa State. You guys are going to be playing Division I football. Tell me about your team this year and now this upcoming fall as well. Of how loaded are the skippers for this upcoming year? Yeah,
we're really excited for this year. We've been young the last 2 years with a bunch of sophomores, my class, and then last year with juniors, especially defensively. But we're gonna be very good. We got other dudes with offers, and a cornerback named Jonah Cummings, up and coming kid named Kieran Vogel. He's a wide receiver. He'll get some tension. Miles, Augustine. So we're gonna be good. We got players everywhere.
I was asking Cody I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
I was just going to say our defense, I think we're returning 9 from last year, and then offense, skill-wise, we're returning everyone but our running back, and then we lost all 6 O-linemen, though. That's our one. But we're young, and we'll build them up, and Coach Shoemaker is a great coach, and he'll get them right.
So I asked Cody this last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever he committed, about making the trip up to Moorhead. I know the Spuds came there. Are you excited or not so much about making the bus ride to come up to this part of the world?
No, I'm excited. It'll be fun. It'll be a really good game. But no, I got that marked on my calendar. I'm excited. I can't wait. yeah, it's going to be good.
What was
It's gonna
that?
be really good.
What was that like, Caden, having them come in and have the kind of success that they did right away? Was that surprising to you guys, or not so much?
Not so much, because they got some good players on our team. There was a little like 5A to 6A. How big is like the jump? And they came in. I'd say they adjusted obviously pretty well going to the state championship. But they got some really good players on their team that can handle all that type of pressure. So they handled it really well.
Caden, I got to ask you, you had offer University of Miami, obviously pops. Just to tell me about when the Hurricanes offered and what went through your mind when they called you and said, hey, we'd like to offer you a scholarship.
Yeah, so it was actually from Coach C.J. Heatherman. He was at the Gophers, and then he remembered my name, took it to Miami, and they watched my film, and they're like, let's offer this kid. Let's not put him on the top of our board, but let's definitely get an offer out to him. And I was kind of, in the moment, I was originally like, oh my God, this is where I'm going to go. Like, I'm so excited. Like, this is going to be so awesome. Then the more I thought about it, I was like, I also want to go somewhere where I'm celebrated, and UND really showed that to me. They were excited about me, but they also told me that I was like their fifth guy. So they're like, yeah, you can commit, but there's these other dudes that we want to commit first. And I'm like, I want them to be excited about me. I want to go somewhere where I'm wanted and I can have a true chance to compete for a starting job and play. So originally, though, I was ecstatic. I was really excited.
When that happens, I mean, how overwhelming is that? Everybody knows that I'm assuming you are like you mentioned, like, this is where I'm going to go. Was it overwhelming when that happened?
Yeah, I think I was pacing around my house for like 2 hours after that. Like, I was like, I don't even know what just happened. They just played a national championship like a week ago, and they just offered me. So I was shocked. I was excited.
Tell me about this. You made the decision a couple days ago. Is it calmed down? Does it feel like a weight off your shoulders? A little bit of both? What the emotions been like here the last 48 hours?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Actually, I made the decision Saturday when I was on spring break in Cabo, and I wanted to enjoy the rest of the trip with my family, like relax, like let everything calm down. But I'm committed, so I was like, I'm gonna announce it on Tuesday after Easter weekend. But yeah, ever since I did it, I like got a bunch of hype right away, and everything's been so supportive, and like that's an amazing decision. It's a great staff, and it's obviously a huge weight off my shoulders, and now I can just focus on the season and taking our team to winning a state championship.
Now, I guess the obvious question is, how's your knee? How you feeling now?
Yeah, it's great. Actually, it's great. So, actually 3 weeks ago I did like return to play testing just to see where it was at, and my knees are like basically like completely exactly the same now, like the strength in both legs, which is like the biggest thing they look at. So I'm like I've been sprinting, squatting, doing everything the same.
How good does that feel? I have imagined after, especially how the last season ended, to be 100%. You just got to be ready to rip the door off the hinges for fall camp to start in a few months.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really happy because, every single, like, when I returned, I was like, okay, my knee feels better. And then the more that I played, it just got worse and worse every single week. And then when it got to that Edina game, it was so bad. Like, I left the stadium one game in like crutches. Like, it was just not, it was not good, but I was pushing it because obviously I had my eyes on one thing, which was a state championship.
Describe that game then, how the Edina game played. It was an unbelievable game. You lose by 1. I can't even imagine, but alas, what was that like afterwards?
It was rough. It was a lot of emotions, with mainly sad with leaving the seniors and not finishing the job and not obviously completing what we wanted to do, which was win a state championship. But it was a hard-fought game and a lot of different emotions. Like I said, people gave it their all, so there's nobody to blame. I mean, we were bummed up everywhere. I think at the end of the game, we had our 3 starting receivers out. Cody was actually out with his ankle. Caleb was obviously out, and I was like drawing up plays on my hand.
When playing in that environment, I know you guys play in a lot of big games, but playing inside U.S. Bank Stadium, what was that like?
It's awesome. It's a super cool area. Honestly, though, when you're out there and you're playing, you don't notice it as much because our stadium, Minor Anderson Stadium, I think we had 14,000 people at our homecoming game, which is like unheard of in Minnesota. So when you go from that to U.S. Bank, it's not that much of a difference besides you're inside looking up at like this crazy brand new stadium. But yeah.
I asked Cody this. I'm curious. I don't know if he told you, but I have to ask, like, biggest. So Minnetonka, I'm interested. Who do you define as your biggest rival? Is it Edina? Is it Eden Prairie? Is it somebody else? Who would you say for you is number one for us?
I would say in like recent history, like the past 2 years, it's been Edina.
Yeah.
But the last 20 years before that, it was constantly EP. We didn't. Last year was the first year we beat EP in 22 years.
Oof.
So, yeah.
How was that celebration afterwards then?
Yeah, that was exciting. I didn't actually play in that game. That was the first game that I was out, which sucked.
Yeah,
and
I bet.
hurt to watch, but I was happy. I was super happy.
Before I let you go now, what's ahead? Has UND told you, like, hey, we'd like you to start working on this, or is that something that comes after the football season in terms of what they're looking for when you get ready to get up to Grand Forks?
They haven't told me much with what to do yet and like my lifting and my workout process. They've given me a few names of kids to reach out to and kids that are high on their board that are offered that they want me to reach out to and get to commit to UND, which is what they all do, which is super fun. And I like that process because it's basically like you're obviously recruiting your class to be as good as possible. Yeah. So I'm definitely pushing some kids.
I appreciate you doing this, bud. Congratulations. Thanks for being flexible here and going over the phone. Congratulations, and we'll chat again once we get closer to the football season, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, Caden Gutzmer joining us here from Minnetonka, Minnesota, the newest member of the UND Fighting Hawk football class for 2027 as he joins us this morning over the phone. Appreciate him being flexible there. On a commitment, he had offers. We mentioned University of Miami was real, that had offered him. Also had offers from Memphis, Bowling Green, USD, and Sacramento State were the offers for the 6'2", 200-pound Gutzmer, who led Minnetonka, as we saw, to the state semifinals, lost to Edina by 1 point in a game where he was playing basically on one leg, considering how bad his knee injury was there. That was going to force him out of the season. He said, I'm not going to be done, and came back and played and saw what happened there. So appreciate him joining us this morning. We got a couple minutes here. We have to break to get into our second hour. Just to reset things, it's been a busy morning. We'll get to the Twins here in a second. Wolves lost last night to Orlando. Jaden McDaniels did play. That was the best news that Wolves fans got, was an email that was sent out yesterday afternoon on a McDaniels update that he was cleared to resume 5-on-5 activity. And that only trends like, okay, the Wolves are going to have the end of the regular season is Sunday. The Wolves aren't going to play again for another 5 days. They won't play until the following Saturday or Sunday to start the NBA playoffs, likely against Denver, to get him maybe one more game. The Wolves will play tomorrow night with Houston and then Sunday to wrap up the regular season with New Orleans. But they're basically locked in to the 6 of where they're going to go. Anthony Edwards did not play last night against the Magic. I think the Wolves would like to get him one game before the postseason begins. But I would say start your planning now for 8:30 and 9 o'clock tip times for that first-round series with Denver. It might be different now with new television partners because TNT had it for so long that you knew that, well, there's going to be a game at 6 or 6:30 or 7, and then the late game would be at 9 or 9:30 or even later. Now with NBC and Amazon in the mix, who knows when these games could be tipping off. I would imagine it's going to be like we've had the last couple of years of the Wolves. I would imagine some late tips are coming for their game with Denver. That's will begin. We'll find out Sunday when the playoff schedule gets announced. So when we're back here on Monday, we'll know the full bracket for at least the top 6. The play-in tournament is next week, and then the end of next week is when the NBA playoffs will begin. Let's do 2 other things here before we get to the Twins. The Wild play tonight, Biggie against Dallas. We'll see what happens there, if they can still leapfrog them and get home ice advantage in that. Email comes in. Dom, what is Avery Koenen's major? She is majoring actually in education, physical education, and that's what her major is. So I appreciate that coming in. That's a big deal. I mean, I think once it was open, the portal was open Monday for women's basketball, and we didn't see any movement there outside of the one in Amelia Hobson. I think fans maybe started thinking, all right, there's a chance that she may come back. And from what Koenen said, there was no real wavering on her decision that she was not going to be part of this team going forward. So as it is, Molly Lenz is the one departure starter that will be gone, but the Bison are bringing back 4 starters. I would imagine that Carrington Ass maybe moves into that starting position. We'll see. Jory Collins is going to have to make a couple of additions in the portal, and we'll see what transpires there. But that was best news for Bison women's basketball fans they could get is the Summit League Player of the Year is coming back for her senior season. Before we wrap up the first hour here, Twins were playing again last night. They have suddenly gotten red hot against the Detroit Tigers. They have found something that it was lacking in the first 3 series of the season, where they couldn't find it against Kansas City. They couldn't do it against Baltimore. They couldn't do it against Tampa Bay. Well, now against the Tigers, they are a run machine. They already beat Tarek Skubal on Tuesday night. Last night, they raced out to a big lead again with, again, family and friends in attendance. It's a 4-0 game when Royce Lewis, again, all in the first inning off Framber Valdez, who was a guy that apparently the Twins were targeting this offseason, if you can believe that. Lewis singles, 2 runs in. It's 6-0. Twins got up 8-2 before Detroit started to make it interesting. On a Riley Green base hit, made it 8-5. He comes in to score on a wild pitch from Cole Sands. Now it's 8-6. 2 runners on. Cody Funderburk gets the 9th inning. And that's a heck of a play by Keyshaw to stretch out to get the final out of the game. Twins win it. 8-6. They've won 3 in a row. Break them up. Byron Buxton with 3 hits last night. Bailey Ober gets the win. One of 6 Twins pitchers in the game last night. They'll go for the sweep this afternoon at Target Field. Mick Abel and Jack Flaherty will be the starters today to wrap up the 4-game set at Target Field for the Twins hit the road to Toronto tomorrow. We'll break. We come back. We'll start our second hour. Sam Goetzinger will join us. We'll chat plenty of good stuff with Sam. We'll also check in our second hour. Riley Swenson will join us from Las Vegas to preview UND's game with Wisconsin in the Frozen Four. Hour 2 of Hot Mike begins after this.
This is Hot Mike. Hot Mike. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Let's take a moment and talk about bunions. The original line read as this: bunions. You may have heard of them. That was my original line.
Hey, thank you, Dom. Johnny Cool Guys there with the sunglasses on.
That was off the dome.
To the west of
when
Illinois.
I'm looking on it, like west. I shouldn't say right and left. Is that Missouri?
That is Missouri.
Yes.
That is
it's underneath
Missouri.
Iowa. Oh, I'm getting good at this.
He's coming.
So we're going to like the bottom peninsula region.
Peninsula.
Okay, we're going to come back on the ETSU tailgate and then go to you. How am I going to go from a tailgate to bunions?
Okay, good deal.
Let's take a moment and talk about bunions.
It is that time on a Thursday as Sam Goetzinger joins us each and every Thursday. Good to see you, my man. How are you?
Good to see you. Good morning.
So, off the top of the show, we had Avery Koenen sitting where
Yes.
you were sitting now. What do you make of the news there? Surprised or no?
2 thumbs up. Am I surprised? No, not necessarily. I think I'm more surprised by the fact that there's stability with the NDSU women's basketball program, considering everybody else is facing instability all across the country. I thought throughout the year it would be really tough to break up this group, just the connections that they made, the leadership that they built, what they are building heading into this year. I thought it was going to be really tough to break up, especially that junior class that's going to be seniors next season. That's fantastic news for
Monster
all
news.
around.
Yep.
It's great. I love what she said this morning too, of that she's not a fan of people reaching out to her directly before and kind of take out the tampering aspect of it. I almost started clapping when I was getting ready this morning when she said that. That was great.
So obviously, I mean, South Dakota State is not going anywhere. I know Brooklyn Meyer and Maddie Mathewitz are moving on, but the Jackrabbits are still going to be formidable next season. But if we're sitting here on April 9th, I would have to install North Dakota State as the preseason favorite to win the league next year.
I would totally agree with that. How do you replace at South Dakota State Brooklyn Meyer?
That is the question. I would never doubt AJ. Aaron Johnston know what he's doing, that they have players. I mean, just watching them play in Sioux Falls again, they'll be all right. But losing Brooklyn Meyer is no small feat. That is going to be a big deal there.
Right. We have to see what happens in the transfer portal for everybody else in the Summit League, but just to see what NDSU is bringing back and now the experience that they've gained after last year, it's theirs to take.
Actually is a name to watch at South Dakota State is Bismarck's Brooklyn Felkley. She played a lot more at the end of the year, the legacy standout. Keep an eye on her and now she was just a freshman this year. Watch for her next season to get a bigger role.
Some big minutes, especially in the Summit League tournament.
And they were playing them both together. Meyer and Felkley were out there together at the end of the season. So Bison will bring back 4 starters. They're going to have to replace Molly Lenz. They'll add one more player as well through the portal. Now I'm intrigued to see they can maybe be a little pick and choosy here on who they want to get to add into this roster going forward.
That's always a luxury to be in right now. And of course, you got some of those players that didn't play this past season that we may see a little bit more.
I figure McKenna Johnson's going to play more next season. Sophie Hawkinson redshirted this year. They expect to get some contributions out of her next year as well.
Right, I would agree. I think those two would be really impressive. I'm curious what the role is for Carrington Asp into next season. Is she a player that finds her way into the starting lineup, or is she going to be another, one of those sixth-man studs again?
I don't know.
I'm curious about that. You have so much talent up and down that board. Where do you put everybody?
Yeah, that's a great problem for Jory Collins to have right now, knowing that all of them are going to come back next season. As you mentioned, just in this day and age, it's not. I mean, just look at it on the men's side. On the men's side, Dave has right now 3 players coming back. He has 5 incoming freshmen, but he has to add 5 guys, maybe 6 in the portal right now.
I just can't imagine what that headache is like or has been for the last couple of years, but we'll see what they can do. It's a good group that's coming back, and there's been some surprise guys that have entered the portal, but there is a good group coming.
Because I know you interviewed Riley Massey, who played actually probably maybe more than he thought as a freshman this season. He's one of the 3 back. Carson Smith is one of the 3 back, and Andy Stefanowicz, which Andy now he's going to have for his 3rd year in school. He's going to have brand new teammates for the 3rd straight year.
I know, but he just seems like such a natural in the way he plays
really good.
and the way
better
he
than
leads.
Otto last year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. His ability to facilitate the ball and run the offense is really impressive, and it's only going to get better as he moves forward. So he's going to be probably the stud, depending on who they get in the portal. And Riley Massey, in some ways, is a mini me to him. A
little bit
similar makeup, similar stories, and little different play styles. But I think Massey could be a big part of this team. And Carson Smith did look good in the games that he played. His role was limited down the stretch
as the season went on. It did,
but I think coming back, I think he's a guy to look out for because he looked pretty good in the game, especially early in the year that he played.
Dom Clay is the tough one.
Yeah.
Dom Clay, we both watched. I know that they spent significant amount of time. I mean, you redshirt the whole season. That has to be a gut punch. We invested this entire time with you, and then you're leaving?
Absolutely.
That's tough.
I'm sure that didn't sit well, because you're exactly right. When we would go to practice and you would see the time and the effort and the progress that he was making throughout the season, and then to see, I'm going to go somewhere else. I don't know how that world looks when you don't have a ton of game footage. I'm very curious what the future looks like for him. Obviously, you hope that everybody lands on their feet moving forward, but I just don't know how you can sell yourself when you haven't really played college basketball yet.
Well, if that's the thing, right? How much tape is out there?
Yeah.
Not much, considering you didn't play this entire season. I want to get your thoughts. We had him on yesterday. Brooks Bacco, who you've covered, who've called Kindred games, made it official that he's going to be a Gopher in 2027.
Really good athlete. I'm not totally surprised that he chose Minnesota. I think Minnesota's doing a really good job recruiting, especially up here.
Cleaning up locally.
Tip of the cap to them. What they're doing up here and getting the upper echelon of guys is really impressive. I think Brooks Bacco is a Big Ten caliber talent, which in the state of North Dakota is really cool to see that's becoming a norm, I should say, in this region of the Midwest. It's becoming a little bit more of a normal thing than what we've seen in the past. And Brooks is a really, really special athlete to watch. I remember when I first started working here, I think he was in 8th grade, and I did a Kindred basketball game, and everyone's telling me, hey, look out for this kid. This is the best basketball player in his age bracket in the state, if not, just the best player in general in the state. And I believed it because he was really impressive. So I thought college basketball was in his future. And then you watch him on the football field, and anytime there's a ball in his area, he's skying up and grabbing it, and I'll be curious to see where they want to officially put him.
He says tight end.
Tight end.
Yeah.
I think that would work.
Yeah.
I mean, he's more of a wide receiver build right now, in my unexpert opinion, but I think he can definitely bulk up and be significant at the tight end spot.
So that's the first of the big ones in North Dakota. The other three are his teammate, Luke Starcevic, and Starcevic has a buttload of offers as well, including Minnesota, including Michigan.
Coming off an
Michigan
injury
State,
as well.
Right.
Yep.
Ben Heenick, who's the big offensive lineman. I think he might be tight end, though. From what I was told, they're looking at him as tight end out of Stanley, North Dakota, who's got a couple of SEC offers in his back pocket. Including,
Stanley's done well over the last couple of years.
His dad is a former Bison, so I think that NDSU is clean that they have a shot there. And then the other one is Drew Kessel out of Fargo South, who obviously his older brother Reese plays at NDSU. Drew just got offered, I want to say, Wisconsin. He's also got Minnesota, Michigan. So, I mean, this is high level, Sam.
Absolutely.
You've been here 4 years. In my time, I can't remember this many FBS guys in one class like 2027 has.
No doubt. It's really impressive.
Not even counting the guys from Moorhead.
No, also, Ty Barman, a freshman, too, who's gone down to Minnesota and has had some attention there.
And Kansas State just offered him earlier this week.
So, and he's just wrapping up his freshman year, going into his sophomore season. I even look at what's happening on the baseball field since we're starting to transition into spring, and some of the guys there. Case and Borkart going to Oregon. Fargo South's got a guy going to Texas A&M. It's really impressive, and I made the point to emphasize this during this winter spring tournament stretch. The level of athlete coming through North Dakota right now is on a different level. It's really good. This class of 2027 is special, and I think the groups coming up behind them are going to be pretty good too. It's pretty cool, considering how many people are in this state of North Dakota.
The Bison fans keep asking me, like, are they going to get any of these guys? And I'm like, they very well could get none of them. Yeah. They very well, just, again, kids going to go to the Big Ten. Right. You tip your cap and say, good luck to you, man. It's as simple as that.
The classification of FBS, if we're talking football, FBS and Mountain West, that's helpful. But this is Big Ten.
Correct.
And this is a lot of money down in those facilities, even if it is Minnesota, who hasn't had a ton of success, over the last 10 years or so. Yeah, but go down there and you're up there with the big boys, you know?
If they get one of them, they should celebrate that.
Absolutely.
And if they somehow get two, then they can ride that one to the moon.
Right. I think their chances are better now that they have moved up. Yes. There's no doubt about that. But it's going to be tough to keep these guys home.
I was half convinced you might call in sick today because it's the opening day of the Masters.
Trust me, I'm thinking in my head of how I'm going to set up my monitor situation upstairs.
So last year we had full rain because Hoagie was playing in it. We had a local connection. We had to follow it. We could have it on all the time. And, hey, we've got, but now we don't have that.
I don't know what my excuse is going to be. I might have to do the quick minimize the screen every time someone walks by.
So coming up today, here less than 2 hours, Amazon will debut its Masters coverage for the first time because for decades, you couldn't watch till 2 o'clock, which is the dumbest thing. In the Eastern time, it's 3 o'clock.
Yep.
Like no other tournament, not even like the average golf tournament. You can watch literally the first guy hit until the last guy is done. Masters is different like that. That changes.
Yeah.
At least starting today.
It caught me off guard because I totally forgot that was happening. So I was on the phone with my buddy who's a Masters nerd.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that. I was like, oh, yeah. Who's calling this?
Terry Gannon will be doing it.
He's good.
And he's good. He
good.
does golf for NBC. He does a lot of different things for NBC.
Yeah,
but he does golf.
He's fun. He's fun to listen to. So I hope it's good coverage. And
I'm sure it'll be.
I'm glad because I have Amazon, so I'm happy. I usually don't have any of these streaming services, so I have this. So I'll
no
be,
illegal streaming needed for you this week.
No,
right.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Yeah, so it's on today from noon to 2 and tomorrow. And then Paramount Plus, which was on last year, has coverage on Saturday and Sunday. That's all we're looking for. You know, we got snow on the ground here. It's 45 degrees. Like, give us this as early as possible.
Right. I was back home on Monday or Tuesday, so I came back yesterday, but I was back home on Tuesday. I actually played a round of golf in southern Minnesota.
Really?
It was 34 degrees. And then to my despair, coming up here and seeing 2 feet of snow, that hurts. So, yes, I need all the fixins I can get right now because every time I go outside, I get depressed.
So right now, Kolpak's guy, who he picked, Tommy Fleetwood, is tied for the lead.
Oh, he picked Tommy?
He did. I asked him on Monday. He picked Tommy Fleetwood, and Patrick Reed are tied for the lead at 3 under through 4 holes so far.
That's a pretty good round coming up for them then.
Yeah, well, you're early. You still got a lot of difficult holes to go. It's funny because this is the only golf tournament where average sports fans watch.
Absolutely.
Ones that have no golf interest whatsoever, they will watch Sunday, especially if it's interesting down the stretch.
I find funny because it's not extremely different. I mean, the stakes are higher, but it's not extremely different from what you can find level of play wise from every other weekend.
It's the golf course first,
yes,
and I think it's the music part of it. CBS is built in this part of it. Like my dad is a perfect example. My dad does not watch golf. He will watch this though.
Yeah,
he will. He will be invested.
Does he watch any other majors or just this one?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Nope.
Yeah, I found that it's harder to sell to the casual player of U.S. Open's on this week. You know,
I'm sure he might bet on it if I know him right. Because you can do that in New York.
Why not?
Do that. We'd put a couple bucks down and see what happens.
Wouldn't blame him one bit.
Let's break. We come back. Frozen 4 gets going later today. We're heading to Vegas later. We'll get Sam's thoughts on the 4 teams that are left playing. We'll get a couple other topics in as well as we roll on a Thursday morning edition of Hot Mike. We're back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Back with our guy, Sammy G. I got a tweet sent to me this morning, a UND fan. My daughter tells me this morning that her afternoon class was canceled because her professor wants to watch the UND hockey game and wants all the students to watch it as well. Also postpones an exam scheduled for Monday.
That's wild.
So they don't have to study while UND plays on Saturday. Love the priorities and way to support your school.
I agree with that last statement. I think
that's a little presumptuous for the exam postponement.
Why not? That's the whole
they got to
point
win
of this.
Today.
Well, they should be fine. Sorry, Eric in the back. He's all decked out in his Badger gear.
He loves his Badgers.
I love that.
What do we make of this Frozen 4 alignment here? These are the 4 winningest programs in college hockey history that are in Las Vegas today.
It's a really fun field. I think that game of Denver and Michigan is going to be
the nightcap tonight.
Absolute slobber knocker, and Denver always seems to turn it on down the stretch. It's like what we were talking about, I think, last week with UMD. It just seems like they're always in the conversation at the end of the season, and Denver's got that championship pedigree recently, so they know what it's like. David Carlisle is, I believe I'm saying his last name correctly.
Carl, I think
Carl,
it is.
Yes. He's a really, really good coach, and then Michigan's just been stacked with talent over the last couple of years up and down the board, but I feel like there should be a cap on how many championships you can win in a week, so let's knock them out of the picture. And then North Dakota, they were expected to be here. It's no surprise. Wisconsin, a little bit more of a surprise. They had to get past Michigan State, which is a really good team, but Wisconsin's no slouch.
So this is the first college anything championship to be held in Las Vegas.
Is it really? Okay.
We have the college football national championships coming there next year. I'm still if you would have told me this even 5 years ago, the NCAA would embrace going to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, no way on earth that would happen.
It's
but
becoming
this is
kind of a hotbed area, isn't it?
The Final Four is going to be there in a couple years after that. I believe there's a regional in the basketball tournament coming there either next year or the year after that. Hockey is the one that's laying the groundwork. We've seen it. The Super Bowl's coming back. It was there a couple years ago. The draft was there. This is...
Don't forget Mountain West Media Days.
Mountain West Media Days are going to be... But it's just to have the NCAA embrace Las Vegas... No one would have saw that happening at all.
I would agree. I always found it interesting. You're putting a bunch of young people in a city like that, and how much trouble could happen. Who knows? But the dedication that they've put into building up their venues.
Well, I would say that, right, because Vegas hockey is. My dad was out there the first year of the Golden Knights. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
They made the Stanley Cup final that year. It was crazy, and that has continued. When we were out there, the amount of Golden Knight stuff dwarfed anything I saw about the Raiders. It was unbelievable. And we were in the Raiders stadium, and it was still like the Golden Knights were the thing, and that's where the Frozen Four is here today.
You have to give them credit. There's something about a community embracing these events there.
That's the same thing with the NBA when that gets announced this summer, that will be huge because it's theirs. The Raiders aren't theirs.
Right.
Same thing whenever the Athletics move to Vegas. They're not going to be theirs, even if they play in this futuristic stadium.
That's true.
Looks like it's out of the Jetsons.
Well, that's part of it too. I just can't believe the amount of money and the state of the art technology in some of these stadiums. It's unbelievable.
Well, and Vegas is the place to go if you want. That's what's happening. And now the NCAA is going to go there, which is, again, if you would have told me that's unheard of 5 years ago, and now it's going to be a thing. A couple minutes left. We're heading back up to Bison spring football tomorrow. The coaches convention will have another opportunity to get into Bison spring practice. Give me some thoughts of what you've seen through the first couple weeks of Bison spring ball.
I like the linebackers. I like what I'm seeing there. Good depth. I'll be curious to see where some of these guys have come in, like Keith Mitchell, where he kind of bounces in.
Transfer from Cornell.
What kind of position is he going to go in? Ray James has been wearing the white uniform a little bit. So
boy, they need him healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
He could be a real X factor at that spot if he's able to stay on the field.
Right. There's no doubt. He's gotten big, too.
Yeah.
We saw him last year make a little bit of an impact, and his arms are just so long. He can really disrupt plays, and I think we talked about it last season as well, that he was transitioning from being a basketball mindset football player into being a football mindset football player, and I think that's been the case this year, and he definitely looks the part. So if he can jump back into the mix, that's going to be a pretty dangerous position group. And besides that, defensive line, we've talked about it, really good. Offensive line, what the final pieces are there.
We played your interview with Kenny Anene.
Okay.
What were your thoughts on meeting him and seeing? I mean, he's first off is a mountain of a man.
He's a big dude.
His adjustment coming from Kansas to NDSU.
Yeah, similar to Toby, personality-wise. And I love the story that he told about how they haven't gone one-on-one against each other yet, and they will at some point. And he said he would win that matchup, which I'd pay to see that. But I like his mindset on everything, and really up and down the board. A lot of these new guys coming in, yes, they realize that there's positions up for grabs, but there's a way of going about it where you can't just knock others down. You want to continually build yourself and build others up, and it seems like he's embracing that mentality as well. But he was a fun guy to talk to, and I expect him to do some big things this year.
Email comes in, and this is related. I think Benel spent this much when he went to the Masters a few years ago. The Masters expected to bring in $70 million in merchandise sales, with the Masters gnome selling out in the first hour. What did you? I know he's not on the mic today, but those are like hundreds of dollars.
So I scrolled.
Because the thing behind you, we got the flag he got me when he was there. I mean, that was probably the cheapest thing there.
Is it really? I kind of.
I know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I see a bunch of people getting those and then getting those signed. I scroll through.
There's a hoodie out there.
Is there?
There's fantastic, and it's probably like $500.
Is it seriously?
They don't sell it. That's another thing why you talk about why it's
true.
The allure of it. You can't buy the stuff anywhere.
I saw something about the Goodwill in Augusta. Like people line up outside of the door because they kind of get some stuff back from when people don't want it. And you got to get there like 5 a.m. But I also see videos of people going through the gift shop. They're putting $3,700 down. And it's, of course, you're getting orders for your buddies and stuff like that, but that is unreal.
$70 million in the first, with the Masters Gnome selling out in the first hour. That's from Front Office
At
Sports.
least concessions are cheap. That's a win.
Yes, but from what, and Eric's the only one who's been, so he's the authority on it.
He'll let you know
he's
about
the
it, too.
authority on that, but said it wasn't all that great.
What, the concessions?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how much I'd want a pimento cheese, and I don't know how much I trust his food opinion. But you can get, a cookie for like $1. You can load up on
everything
that.
Everything is cheap on that. I'm just like, everyone's, like, they did a whole segment on ESPN yesterday about that pimento cheese sandwich. That does not look appetizing.
I've never had pimento.
Whatsoever.
I don't think I want a pimento, whatever a pimento is. I don't think I'd want to spend my day eating those cheese sandwiches.
That
but
doesn't look appealing to me
but at least it's cheap. My pick, by the way, is Ludwig Oberg, in case you're wondering.
Is that who you're going with?
So another international guy like Jeff. I'm going to go with Ludwig Oberg.
Is he teed off yet? Or
No, I don't think
later?
so. I don't know what any of the times are.
Let's see, Oberg.
Spells it with an A, by the way, in case you're wondering.
12:08 he tees off. So right for Amazon's coverage. There you go.
I'll be eating lunch at that time, tuned into that.
You got some winners today from Vegas. Who you want to pick? Who's going to win?
For hockey, yeah, I'll do UND, and the next game's such a toss-up to me. But I'll go Denver, so I'll NCHC in the finals.
Oh boy!
And then I'd be surprised if UND doesn't win at all. I'm
really?
gonna be honest, that's my hot take for the day.
You're with our guy here, apparently.
Exactly.
I can tell you, there was no circumstance whatsoever that I would have a professor say, "Hey, don't worry about it.
Really?
Come back." Watch the game. No, that never
especially
happened.
you have all day Sunday to study, for a test coming up on Monday.
What do you do with Sunday?
That's unreal. All my professors were great to let us leave and go to the thing, so I appreciate that.
That's good.
I appreciate that. But yes, this is a whole.
The game is Saturday at 4, right?
I have a feeling this professor didn't have much of a teaching plan available for today and had to find some sort of answer.
So the game is over at 7.
Yes.
If you win, you enjoy yourself till whatever midnight.
You have to have your after celebrations,
right, but then you can wake up at 9 o'clock the next day and let's go. What are these students? They don't cram anymore? That's all I did was cram.
You must not celebrate as hard as some people if you can wake up at 9 a.m. the next day.
Speaking of waking up, we have to get Riley out of bed.
What time is it there right now?
It's 2 hours less. So,
time zones, I
so
don't know. You could have told me it was 5 in the morning
it's
there. I would have
8:30
believed
in the morning there.
Well, let's get him out of bed.
So he'll join us when we come back. Thanks, Sam, for coming in. We'll take a break. We head back. We'll head to Vegas. Get you ready for UND's game with Wisconsin. Riley will join us on site. That's coming up when we come back. All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry, Zoom apparently doesn't want to work for us today, so we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way like we did in the old radio show, and that's fine. As we head out to Las Vegas, we mentioned it earlier in our last segment, the Frozen Four resumes coming up here at 4 o'clock today, 2 o'clock local time for UND's matchup against Wisconsin. It'll be followed by Denver taking on Michigan in the late game. Our guy Riley Swenson, who's been man about all over the country. He's went from Buffalo, New York to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to Las Vegas, Nevada the last 3 weeks. I don't know if we told you about the perks of the job of traveling over the last 3 weeks. How's Vegas?
I'll tell you what, it's certainly more enjoyable
than Buffalo?
And that's not a knock. Either of those. Just the weather is a little nicer here, so I've definitely enjoyed my time a little more here so far.
So we saw last night you had a story on, let's just start first on the amount of fans. Was it overwhelming? Did it hit you in the face, or has it been kind of scattered about? What's the amount of North Dakota fans you've run into so far?
I wouldn't say overwhelming. I would say probably what I expected. I remember I was here a few years ago when Arizona State played UND at the same arena, and I remember telling my buddies, I was like, guys, they're going to take over the place. And they're like, no way. And I was like, and sure enough, they did. And I think there's still probably more on the way as we speak. And even as I was walking around the lobby late last night around 10 o'clock, there was still some checking in. So I think that by the time we get to puck drop today, it will be overwhelming. I just don't know if it was quite to the point I'd say overwhelming yesterday. But there's definitely more UND fans than Michigan, Denver, Wisconsin's probably number 2, honestly.
Listen, there's a tweet that came out. There's an Allegiant flight from Grand Forks direct to Vegas that lands just after 1 o'clock tomorrow, less than an hour before puck drop. That's 1 o'clock Pacific time. Has there ever been a flight with more pressure to arrive on time? I have to imagine, to your point, there's got to be a ton of fans on that flight.
Yeah, I would think so. I saw that tweet. From what my experience was, I wish them the best of luck. The Vegas airport was great, and everything was fantastic. So
we saw your story yesterday as well. The signage around town there. I mean, obviously Vegas has become a hockey city with the Golden Knights there. But you were out there, as you mentioned, for that Arizona State game. Describe how Las Vegas has become a hockey city.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So I've actually. I was on a family vacation the year that the Vegas Knights had their inaugural season, and we went to a game. And so I've seen it from the very start, actually. It's been cool. I mean, when we were in Buffalo, like I was talking about, you wouldn't have even known there was a basketball tournament going on if you weren't there for the tournament. Where they have signs here everywhere. They're really embracing it, and you wouldn't think. I mean, it's still not going to be a St. Paul or a Boston where the local feel is all about hockey, but there's definitely more of a feel that I probably expected. To be honest, of these people are excited to have the event here.
I think if goes the way they hope, that this becomes like Tampa. People love going to Tampa. That's becoming like a regular rotation spot. That if this goes well today and Saturday, you could certainly see Vegas be in the Frozen Four rotation, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it's been a lot of chatter on Twitter over the last couple weeks about what to do with the sites. I've seen people wanting to rotate them between a couple. And obviously you're going to have St. Paul and Boston are always going to be there. Like you said, Tampa, people love that one. But so far, I would say people would want to come back to Vegas as well. All
right, let's actually talk about on ice here. You got to visit with some of the players yesterday. They seem pretty chill about what's to come with a matchup with Wisconsin. Give me your 1,000-foot viewpoint of visiting with the team yesterday with UND and where they're at mentally for this game.
Yeah, no, I think you hit it right there. Is when we walked in the locker room, there was just kind of this sense of, they're just guys hanging out playing another hockey game. It doesn't seem like they're too worried about it being the Frozen Four or too worried about what's at stake here. And, you can say all the right things and still maybe feel a little bit of nerves inside. But I do think that there's a lot of guys on this team, too, that although they haven't played in a Frozen Four, I talked about it a little yesterday. They've played in the World Juniors. These guys have played in big tournaments. I know Jake Livanovich won the Clark Cup in the USHL. So, I mean, although they haven't played in a Frozen Four, and it's hard to replicate that, they've played big games, and it just seems like they're, just a group of guys that like hanging out with each other and want to keep that rolling.
This matchup with Wisconsin, I don't know if anybody expect the Badgers to be there. With Michigan State being in that bracket, are they, quote unquote, the Cinderella of the four teams that are there?
I mean, I guess you'd have to say yes, but when it's the teams with the foremost national championships in college hockey, it's tough to say any of them are Cinderellas. But talking with Will Zellers yesterday, he said, they're from the Big Ten, but they play a lot like an NCHC team, physical, fast. And so I think that's what people might notice today is, it's going to feel maybe a lot like a game, like a conference game in the middle of February. They also have talked about the rivalry, and Cole Reschny, I think, put it best of, we know there's a rivalry there, but that's not what's getting us up for this game. He said, we're playing for the chance to go to the national championship. And the rivalry stuff, I think, is fun for guys like us to talk about, but I don't think the players, they obviously weren't even alive in 1982, whatever it was.
Right.
So.
The other storyline, I know you did this earlier in the week, that all the goalies are freshmen? That's outrageous.
Yeah, no, it is crazy. Now, the thing about it, though, you got to remember is they're freshmen, but it's not like it's college basketball.
Right.
They're truly 19 years old. I mean, they're guys that have played overseas and then went to the USHL, so they're, 20, 21-year-old freshmen, but still, yes, it is pretty crazy. First time ever, all four in the Frozen Four being freshmen, and I think UND fans coming into it, I don't know if they've had this feeling for a while, but you probably feel like if you're a UND fan, you've got the best of the 4 goalies that are remaining here.
Well, he hasn't allowed a goal yet, right? So he hasn't allowed a goal in the tournament yet.
Yeah, exactly.
What's on tap here today? I know you got a live shot to do here right when we're wrapping up. What do you have planned for us coming up on the news tonight?
Yeah, so I'm gonna head down just outside the arena. There's a little Frozen 4 fan fest going on, so I'll be live in the 11 o'clock news coming up here. Just a little preview of the game, and then once the game wraps up, we'll have full highlights and reaction tonight at 10. The game will still be going on at 6, so we'll get you a score update from there. But at 10, we'll have full stories, and then if they win, we'll be right back at it tomorrow with more press conferences and things of that nature.
Are you right there, or where's it? Are you the media hotel? Are you close by, or are you a little ways away from T-Mobile Arena?
I am the closest you could possibly be. The media hotel is Park MGM. I could throw a rock and hit the arena, which is perfect for my purposes. It'll be a 5-minute walk from my hotel room to the.
There we go. For those that haven't been, where in relation to the Strip are you?
It's like a block off of it is where the arena sits. So it's just behind the New York, which is so it's just behind that. So, I mean, it's barely off the Strip. It's a pretty prime location, to be honest.
Well, all right. You got to get back to work. Thanks for doing this, bud. Great stuff. We're looking forward to what you got cranking today, and stay cool out there, okay?
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
There he goes, our guy, Riley Swenson. You'll see him coming up here in about 15 minutes after our newscast, or our show wraps up. Our newscast coming up at the top of the hour, and he'll have live coverage coming up later today. Game at 4 o'clock on ESPN2 with the second semi to come at 7:30 tonight. We mentioned it as well. The national championship game will be on Saturday, and that has been moved to a 4 o'clock start Central Time on ESPN. They moved to the big channel, which is for the first time in, a while. They have not been on main ESPN. I got to say, at least it's been a decade that since they've been on big ESPN. So that's a big win for college hockey in its own right there. Because I don't remember, I have to look back, the UND Quinnipiac when they won it in 2016. That might have been ESPN. Traditionally, it's been ESPN2 here over the last little bit. So that you take that whenever you can, even if it is in the middle of the afternoon for the title game coming up on Saturday. So appreciate giving Riley there and making that happen over the phone. We got our engineers working on it. Hopefully we can get that situated for tomorrow's show on that. But, again, I'm seeing more tweets on the amount of people that are out in Vegas. Another one here. Nodak fans are everywhere. You can see UND gear all over. Our guy Schlossman says UND fans have come to Vegas from all over, including Saudi Arabia. That is a ways to go to see your team play, but it's been a decade. You know, I don't think you don't take those for granted of making it there after you've been there so often, and then you have a drought like they've had to get back. And as a city like that, you had to know full well that they were going to embrace it as much as they are, and looking forward to that. It's part of a great Sports Thursday, which we're going to preview coming up here before we wrap things up, of what's on tap today, because that's one of the great sporting events that we have, and it's unique. I had the distinct pleasure to go in 2015 when UND was there in Boston, and that, to Riley's point, now there's a hockey city steeped in tradition. I remember doing a live shot outside the TD Garden right next to Bobby Orr's statue of him flying through the air when he scored the game-winning goal in 1970 to give the Bruins the Stanley Cup, the first time that Boston had won the Stanley Cup in 50 years. That was a different experience. Simply, weather was not great. It was about 40 degrees and rainy the 3 days we were there. I don't think it dampened any of the UND fans that decided to go to Boston that year. But this is, again, it's not only you're going to cheer on the team, you got a getaway as well in early April, considering what you're looking at outside. To go when it's 85 to 90 degrees in Las Vegas, yeah, I can see why. Again, the NCAA would probably say, you know what, we're going to have this in our 5-city rotation going forward. like the Super Bowl has made it known. The NFL's made it known. Las Vegas is now in the Super Bowl rotation, I would imagine. Like Tampa's in it now for the Frozen Four. That Vegas is going to be part of that as well. All right, we'll take our final break. We come back. We'll wrap things up here on a Thursday morning. Get you set for one of the best sports days of the year. Hot Mike will wrap on WDAY Extra right after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Wrapping things up here on a Thursday morning. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Tomorrow on the show, Enderlin's Joe Hurlburt will join us. Corey Provis will be as well as the Twins get ready for their set in Toronto. Jake Sokol, new NDSU football commit, will join us. We got a packed show. Looking forward to that to wrap up the week in style coming up tomorrow. Also, the architect will be in town. One Craig Bowl is going to be here at NDSU's Coaches Clinic. We're hopeful to catch up with the old ball coach, as I refer to him now. I'm sure he loves that moniker, but that'll be, if we do get him, that'll be for next week. Will be after Hot Mike wraps up tomorrow. So something to tease ahead in the coming days. Now, as the show is going on today, we're giving a Masters update. Remember, coverage starts at noon today for the first time on Amazon Prime. You've got Kurt Kitayama is the leader right now at 4 under par through 10 holes. Patrick Reed, Tommy Fleetwood at 3 under. Jose Maria Olazabal, who's won a couple of the Green Jackets, at 2 under. Sam Burns at 2 under early on. So a lot more golfers to come. Rory McIlroy's on the course. He's even through 4 holes, the defending champion of this event. You got a bunch more tee times coming for the preeminent golf tournament on the calendar getting underway today. Also, the hot topic that's blown up my feed this morning, Major League Baseball has announced new City Connect uniforms for 8 teams. The Braves, Orioles, Reds, Royals, Brewers, Pirates, Padres, and Rangers. On the screen now, top left is the Brewers, which look an awful lot like the Twins City Connect with Wisco across the front. Does anybody call it Wisco ever? The Pirates on the top right, for those on the podcast, I'm going to have to do my best to illustrate. That's black and gold. San Diego has changed up theirs. The Padres had for a long while, like it was a white and purple kind of deal. That's more black and brown. And Texas with the Rangers with the Tejas on the front with an all red look. That's not too bad. That's all right. Here are the other ones. Atlanta on the top left. Powder blue always is a winner. Cincinnati, I don't know. They had black jerseys last year. Now it's all red. I kind of embrace the black ones that they had. The Royals in the bottom right there. What is the logo? Is that an advertisement? Yeah, it's an advertisement there in the bottom right. And then Baltimore going with Be More across the front. Again, does anybody call it that? I kind of like the Oriole on the top of the R, but I'm not sure if anybody actually calls them that. Baseball always trying to get a buck from anybody. With the hats are all right as well. I don't mind the Atlanta one, and I don't like anything about the Braves, but that hat is all right. There you have it, the new City Connect jerseys that will be debuting this baseball season. Let's do some What to Watch before we get out of here. What to Watch brought to us by our friends at Northwestern Mutual. Again, we got UND Wisconsin coming up 4 o'clock today on ESPN2. The Masters coverage begins at noon on Amazon Prime. Again, for the first time, they are starting the tournament coverage 2 hours early. So if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, if you got it for the NFL, if you got it for the NBA, then you're all set to watch some golf coming up later today. And the Twins will go for a 4-game sweep this afternoon against the Tigers coming up at Target Field to wrap up their series there. As we leave you today, first off, Powder Blue Works, a diving catch in the Columbia game yesterday. Love those. Cole Hage's old school there. Appreciate y'all joining us here today on a packed show. If you missed any of it, you can podcast it later today at Inforum.com. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow.